Hey guys, welcome back to Embrace by Life. I'm your host Lisa, sharing with you our early retirement journey for myself, my husband Frank, and our dog Buddy. So I'm going to talk a little bit more today about getting our driver's test. So coming from the US, we are required to get our official driver's license here in Spain within 6 months of arriving. We've been here 4 months, so we have 2 months to pass and get our driver's licenses, which is going to be crazy. We have the books, so we have them in both Spanish and English. We went to Torcal, which is one of the local companies that will help you get your driver's license. So they gave us these books that we are studying, and we have an online exam that we get to test out and do like test runs of the exam. The interesting thing is we got 2 books, one in Spanish, one in English. My husband actually does speak quite a bit of Spanish. He's pretty much fluent, I would say. Compared to me, I'm like at a level 1 of Spanish. That's on my to-do list, is to join a Spanish class as soon as we get into our home, which should be by May 1st. But I wanted to share with you some information about driving here in Spain and about the exam. So let's talk about driving here in Spain. There are tons of roundabouts, so that's something that for us coming from the US, we're not so used to. If you're from the UK or other European countries, I believe you can actually just transfer your license. But coming from the US, we have to like start from scratch as if we haven't driven here before. And it's kind of funny because for the first 6 months, we can literally drive as much as we want. We have an international driver's license, which is this kind of sublet to our driver's licenses that we have from Florida. So if we get stopped by the police, we have our international driver's license. But after 6 months, you need to have your official Spanish driver's license. So driving here is just incredible. Nobody follows the rules. You're reading these books and all the rules. No one's actually following them, which is pretty incredible. People literally park right up against you. We've had to crawl over the passenger seat into the driver's seat to get in because people park that close to you. You don't want to have a nice car here because it'll get banged up. We've already had our relatively new car, it was a certified pre-owned car, already scratched several times by people that we park beside. So, don't invest in an expensive car here, that's for sure. But anyway, in terms of taking the exam, you only have 2 tries, and I'm not sure that we're both going to pass on the first try. You've got your practical exam, which is the actual driving test, but before that you have to pass the written test. You have 2 tries on both, and it costs upwards of like €600 in total, which is crazy. And the speed limit here is a complete joke. Tailgating is truly the norm here. So I am hoping that we'll be able to pass the practical, which is the real driving test, as we're driving with other people who are recklessly driving constantly. We come from New York City, New Jersey area, so we're used to erratic driving, but this is just, another thing all entirely different. So anyway, as it relates to the book, the Spanish book, interestingly enough, has some with an N beside it, which means it's new information, new signs, and they're not in the English version. So luckily I can study the Spanish version too with Google Translate and try to understand some stuff that's not in the English book. This is probably going to be one of the most critical things for us to do, and probably the most frustrating. And I hope we can pass. You also have to either pass your exam in either an automatic or a manual, and we have a manual car, so we do have to pass our practical exam with the manual in order to be able to drive a manual. So we have paid for a few lessons. So once we get our written exams passed, which I truly hope we can do in the first try, but at least within 2 tries, then we do our practical, and I'll have to learn a little bit of Spanish to pass the practical, but I'm sure my husband will do fine. But it's going to be really interesting. We have to go to Malaga, which is a bigger city, to pass the driving test. They don't have one here in Benalmádena. So this is going to be, a fun challenge for us. But hey, we have, started this whole process, and we're looking to see it through and get this done. But it's going to be quite an incredible feat to get our driving tests, hopefully within the first couple tries. and see how that goes. So we are studying, in addition to just, spending some time here in the new apartment while we wait to get into our home that we are in the process of purchasing. But I just wanted to give a few more details about taking our driver's exam. And yeah, we're both super nervous, to be honest. We've been driving for like over 40 years. So it'll be interesting to see how all this goes. But yeah, just wanted to share that. And these are the books that we're studying with right now. And hopefully we pass. So wish us the best of luck. And we'll be sure to share more on our journey as it relates to passing our driver's test. Okay, talk to you soon. Embrace life. Bye.